UFC lightweight up and comer Matt Frevola. What's going on, Matt? How's life, man? Where you're at?
Oh, it's going good, man. I'm down in Tampa, Florida right now. I just got back from Vegas. I was just in Vegas with Billy Q. He had an unbelievable fight, a huge win, and I was training in the PI while I was out in Vegas, so it was a good time. And now I'm back in Tampa, and I got a hard 2 weeks in Tampa, and then we go back to Vegas for my fight week.
Did you get any tests done while you were in Vegas, or was it just training?
I did the UFC PI testing the last time I was there. So this time I was just training. I just did a couple strength and conditioning workouts with them. I saw the physical therapists, and then I worked out with my coaches and did those good old weight cut workouts with Billy Q.
All right, well, Billy Q, man, yeah, phenomenal performance. He came back after that rough first round and did work, man. How was watching that from the corner?
Oh man, that was like it was stressful. like I got told to like sit down like 10 times, and then our head coach Arroyo told me to shut up a couple times. But yeah, I've seen enough of Billy Q's fights to know that he weathers like the first round, weathers fast starters, and that he really comes and shines in the later rounds. So I had all the confidence that he was weathering Spike's first round, and that he came back and put a whooping on him. So yeah, it was awesome.
You were supposed to, or you were set to face Roosevelt Roberts at the end of April, but of course, that got canceled because of the coronavirus. Did you train all the way through just to stay ready to fight?
Yeah, I was up in New York, and I was training, but then it was real bad up in New York, and they closed all the gyms. Everything was pretty quarantined, and pretty much the whole month of April, I was pretty quarantined, and then they canceled that fight about like 2 weeks out from the fight. So I was kind of just I was running on the treadmill. I was when it because it would like rain in New York like every other day, and then when it was nice out, go run outside and just beating up my bag and lifting some weights, trying to stay in shape, but wasn't much I could do. It wasn't like a proper fight camp. But then I talked to Billy Q and Matt Arroyo, and down here in Tampa, things weren't as bad, and they were opening the gym down there, so Billy Q could train. So I was able to come down to Tampa about like 3 weeks ago. So I had started my camp down there, and we told the UFC that we'd be ready in like mid to late June, and I was ready to fight Roosevelt, but they I guess he didn't want to wait, so he got booked with Brock Weaver, and then I got the Frank Camacho fight. So
It all works out, man. Now Roberts, man, he seems like he really wants to fight you. It's like that's kind of like you're the focus of his post-fight press conference mostly. Why is that?
yeah, I don't know, man. The guy really wants to get steamrolled, so it's gonna happen. He's gonna get what he wished for, but I'm not overlooking Frank at all. I know Frank is a tough dude, and I'm completely focused on him right now. So I'm not even worried about the other guy.
Now I want to go back to your debut, man. You came into the UFC undefeated, 6-0. Coming off that great win on the Contender Series. You dropped your debut. It was also your first loss as a professional. How much were you affected by that setback? Because those types of setbacks can affect fighters differently.
Yeah, that was my first loss ever. I was a 9-0 amateur as well. And I knew eventually I would lose. Yeah, I lost like wrestling matches and jiu-jitsu tournaments and stuff, but I never lost a fight, and that was the first time I lost a fight. And I always knew that you see what you're made of coming back from setbacks, and that was a pretty big setback. And I learned so much from that fight. Up until that fight, I was literally steamrolling people. I would come out, not much of a game plan. I would come out and just kind of throw down and just and get the win. And then I, I I squared off with a juiced up Mexican boxer, and he put those hands on me and put me out. And after that fight, I took some time and I really focused on every aspect of fighting. I went out to Thailand, trained at Tiger Muay Thai, really worked with my coaches, and then that next fight with Lando, I really went in there with a game plan and went in there not just guns blazing, just uh, was more of like a calculated killer in there.
That fight, it went to a draw. So it was like you come off the loss, you go into a fight, you make the adjustments, you get a draw. Was there more you learned from that draw compared to the loss?
I mean, it might have been a draw, but it felt like a win. I'm
Mm.
not gonna lie. The only way it wasn't a win was my bank account, unfortunately, because I didn't even get the fight of the night for that one. But yeah, that was a phenomenal fight, and it was in Madison Square Garden. I'm a Long Island kid fighting in the MSG. There's nothing bigger than that. So, and then to go out there and put a performance out like that against a tough dude like Lando, it felt like a win.
Well, since then, 2019 has been very good for you. You get two big wins. You're on a winning streak. What exactly do you feel changed last year for you? Was it more mentally or was it physically?
I think it was just after that loss, I really took a more cerebral approach to fighting and was like I said, get a game plan going and using the full array of skills that I have with my wrestling, my Muay Thai, my boxing, my jiu-jitsu, and mixing it up and you know I still train my ass off. I've always trained my ass off for every fight. I'm always 100% prepared, and I think that was it. Just kind of game planning and using what I learned from that one loss in my career.
Now you run into Frank Camacho, a guy that is known for fight of the nights. And have you been watching his fights ever since he's joined the UFC?
Yeah, I've caught a couple of his fights. Yeah, he's a tough dude. He throws down, uh, comes forward, and that's why I wanted this fight. I was excited when I saw that name, and I'm excited to go out there and finish him.
Yeah, he's known for the dog fights. But have you noticed somewhat of an evolution in his game, a little bit in the last couple of fights?
He's definitely he's always real tough. I think that he really belongs in the 155 division. I know he was up in 170, but probably doesn't like cutting weight. None of us like cutting weight, but you know, I'm ready. I'm ready for everything he's gonna bring. I'm I want to go in there and again fight hard, fight smart, and go out there and get the finish.
Your last two fights were against really tall guys, probably two of the tallest guys in the division. Are you kind of happy, that you're fighting a guy your height? You know what I mean? Like, because punching up is not an easy thing to do.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I am a little bit happy about that. But yeah, those guys are 6'3", and both of them are like southpaws too. It's not like an ideal matchup that you want, but it's gonna be nice going back to fighting a guy my size, orthodox, and I think I'm gonna be able to show all my weapons with this guy. Those last guys, I wasn't really going for many head kicks and couldn't and them being southpaws, it was a different kind of fight. But with Camacho, I'm gonna be able to show all my weapons and I'm excited.
Having no crowd and I know you're used to that, but and also being able to hear everything that's going on. You could hear your opponent breathing, you could hear the shots. Does that change or affect you in the fight at all?
No, no. Once that cage door closes,
Hmm.
it's me, my opponent, and we're fighting. And then there's the ref in there that's gonna pull me off him when he's can't protect himself anymore. So I'm dialed in. I don't think it really matters to me. So and I fought in the Contender Series, so I kind of feel it. But and then even being able to go and see and corner Billy Q for his fight was real nice, because I kind of get to see how everything runs. And I was visualizing myself out there the whole entire time. So I think that was real good.
Can you hear the commentators from where you were sitting?
Oh yeah, yeah. Like Bisbing was pretty much like right, like I guess like 6 feet away.
Uh-huh.
I could hear everything. I could hear the commentators. I could hear his corner. I could hear our corner. Yeah, it was cool.
It would seem like it could become a distraction a little bit, right? Because you got your corners telling you and yelling out instructions, and then you got the commentators giving their opinions on what's going on. I don't know. It could play in people's minds a little bit, but I guess some guys they listen to the commentators and use that against their opponents.
Yeah, some people do. I mean, they were
Yeah.
saying that listening to DC is wrestling advice and all that. But you know, honestly, for me, I'm in there fighting. I'm like dialed in, and I'll always hear my corner. And but in the end of the day, I'm in there pulling the trigger, and looking to hurt the guy across from me.
Man, I'm excited for this fight, man. There's a lot of fights I'm excited for, but this matchup is a violent matchup. That's the word that I like to use for this one. June 20th, UFC Apex. Frank Camacho, Matt Frevola. Thank you so much, man, for the time, and good luck on the fight, and be safe out there, man. I know that there's riots and stuff going on, but it is what it is. It's happening. You just gotta, adapt, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah, man, it's crazy. Right when you think the world's going back to normal,
Mm.
now Tampa's got a curfew right now. It's like
Yeah.
everyone's got to be in at like 7:30. All the stores are closed at 7:30. Our gym just opened up to normal training, and we gotta close at 7:30. So but hopefully things will be back to normal soon. I'm either way. I'm definitely happy to be down here with everything kind of opening up and getting somewhat normal.